Yo, what's up? Welcome back to the Church of Rod. Thank you for the love I've been getting on my videos as usual. This gonna be another commentary one, not a podcast one. So on Twitter the other day, I seen this tweet, and I'm gonna read it off. And y'all know the way what I see and but the way my mouth moves and what I read sometimes isn't exactly accurate. So I'm gonna try to get through this, but it was a tweet, and of course I'm gonna have it on screen so y'all can read it. But it says everyone in the world has to take a private vote by pressing a red or blue button. If more than 50% of the people press the blue button, everyone survives. If less than 50% of the people press the blue button, only the people press the red. Sorry, sorry. If only people who so if less than 50% of people press the blue button, then everybody blue dies and everybody in red survives. And I think the problem is with it was 42 to 58, but the original OP, he said the blue voters were hanging on by a thread currently. That I think the people who vote red are the problem with society, in my opinion. Like, is they're so self-centered. Now, I heard the biggest argument I heard is because you never sure who's gonna. Everybody else is gonna pick red, and you never sure how many people are gonna really pick blue. So, picking red is that's just a way to ensure your own survival. And that mentality right there is ensuring your own survival, even if that comes at the expense of other people. Now, of course, everybody won, and I need, at best, like, the people who picked red, you have to pick red because you're assuming, 50, 49, there's about, it would be close. That's what a lot of people are, advocating for the red button said, because it could be 51-49 for the red, but then you're okay with 49, let's just say, 100 people. You're okay with 49 out of 100 people dying. If I'm okay with pressing blue because I don't want to live in a world dominated by red people. Everybody's arguing that it's stupid because you're taking a gamble instead of ensuring your own survival, basically. And it's a primitive mindset. Like, it's very primitive, and people in the comments start acting like they're high IQ for choosing red. You're primitive. It's a primitive mindset. Only think about your survival. It's 2026. We're in the 21st century. Humans have been around for thousands of years. This whole primitive is only about survival of the fittest. That's tough. That mentality. It's time. We're outgrown it. Like, I mean, there's no reason why we're going to, pass the circle. Humans are circling around the moon, and then we're still viewing food as something competition. You need to compete for food, compete to live. Like, there is no humans. We control the ecosystem now. Like, we gotta stop just thinking, being so individualistic. If we humans would progress so much farther if we weren't individualistic. And I'm a Christian, and I know a lot of these people, voting red and advocating for red are Christian too. That goes against everything our religion is about. Our religion is all about sacrifice. How do you know that? Because without sacrifice, we literally would not have salvation. Without Jesus' sacrifice, we would not have salvation. And you still think, oh, if I'm gonna have to, I can't risk my own survival if that means everybody can survive. If I just have to worry about my own survival. And as I'm going on, like, writing about the red people, I want to give a shout out to all the people who vote blue. I got to this poll too late, so I didn't get to vote on it. But I for sure would have voted blue, because like I said, I would rather die with blue than live in a world populated by red people. Like, I just don't understand. And it's I live in Texas, as I've said before in this channel. So if you live from Texas, I don't know if there's one part of Texas that has, like, just smooth roads all throughout the town. And everybody complains about that. Everybody has no problem complaining about that. But everybody has problems with property taxes, taxes. Everybody thinks the school system is getting worse. But, they think teachers aren't doing their job, blah, 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 blah. But they have issue with taxes going towards schools, roads. Everyone wants to use public services, but no one wants to um you know chip in for it. Everybody has a problem chipping in with it, and people think because the government's taking our fair share and we're not seeing improvements. That's how bad America's infrastructure and school system are. And but this you have and then this stuff has infiltrated our government. Oh, everybody just needs the billionaires, they need to work for themselves, or the people, everybody needs to be for themselves instead of let's building a society together. Like, why are we living? Why? I don't understand. We It's just everybody takes a social contract when we get up, when we go out into the world, when we work our jobs, and we drive on the roads, put our kids through public school, just anything. When you get old and use Social Security, we all sign a public contract. If we all, it's all about working together. And everybody's like, oh no, I'm just blah blah. I'm gonna have less because he might have, as much as me. And like I said, they're supposed to be Christian. Jesus said, "Drop possessions and follow me." You think Of course, that doesn't mean you have to just live homeless like he did, and not have anything personal property for themselves. But you can't care about possessions more than your average man, and that's what this country does, and that's what not this country, this world does, because that was a global poll, and numerous people from numerous countries were advocating for red, and until like we get more, 42%, that's too many people. That's just too many people, because it was probably neck and neck until people started retweeting and quoting and pointing out, sliding the red people's, which, like I said, most people voted blue. That's seen it, thankfully, but there's too many people in the red, in the comments in the red, just. But how do we change it? I don't know. Like, we have to. I don't know how we excommunicate those people from society, or like, it's to the point where those people are the same people that advocate for everything being privatized, private corporations owning everything. So that's why we just need to do it. Like, if the people who don't want to be taxed, who don't want to give in to society, let's have it where a toll. Everybody who pays taxes gets a toll tag, put them on their car, and then we can use all public roads, and all the people who just don't want to pay taxes, who want to live, so they want to chip in society, they don't get the toll tag. And if there's fraudulent, of course, they get punished, jail time, prison time for it. But they have to pay what private roads, with the private companies build. And then we drive on state roads. Same thing with schools. If they don't want to pay their taxes, they have issues with that, then let them pay for their kids' school. Meanwhile, the rest of us, we're going to put our kids in schools, pay by our taxes, and let them try to, so a lot of people who think they can do it, they're gonna do it, but no. And then, of course, they don't want to pay taxes. They don't get social services. They don't get welfare. But the ones who do, let us get it. And with that, when we weed out all the people who don't want to play the game, I feel like we could do more with social services. We might get UBI if people, because I think a lot of people are gonna be so delusional and think I'm gonna opt out of these taxes, and I don't need none of that. I'm okay with paying for everything, and they don't realize how much paying taxes saves them money. So, but it's gonna be a 5-year period, because the ones who decided to actually pay into society, we should be able to enjoy the fruits of the fruits of what we paid into, for without dealing with them. And people might get mad at that, but I mean, it's too much. Like, our country is being held back by that, and that's what I just said earlier. That's why the infrastructure is so messed up, because people, they don't want our cities. They think, for some reason, the city that they live in, if their taxes go in to make the city that they live in better, that doesn't benefit them. They make it the roads better, improve traffic. That doesn't benefit them, because whatever benefits them is the little dollars and cents on paychecks. Money is intangible, and I complain about money a lot, because this is where it all goes. I don't know why, but maybe this is why, because it all goes down to this. It's money and personal property and possessions and individualism. It's all the same thing, all about the self and not about the other. We have to get to where we care about the other more than the self. The other matters just as much as the self. That's what Jesus said. And Jesus, if you're a Christian, you believe Jesus was the Word of God embodied, and he said you need to love your neighbors just as much as you love yourself. And I thought I was gonna have more to say about this, but yeah, I believe people who vote red are the problem with society, or not the problem, because there's a lot of problems with society, but just the selfish individualism, they're the problems with society, and we have to find a way, like, to really separate them from us, because people want to see, a lot of people just want to see society progress. We want to see our cities look better. We want to see better roads, and we have no problem paying for that. People, they just want to see more on their paycheck, and that's all they care about, more on their paycheck. Can I get a bigger house? Can I get a faster car? It's more and more about the luxuries and pleasures of life. And people might not believe me, but I just don't. So much in my early life, I was like miserable and just kind of suffering, because I lacked stuff. And then I realized it wasn't me lacking it and because I didn't get it. It's because I really didn't want it, and I just cared about like the luxuries of life and pleasures of life. You know, hedonism. You know, physicals. You know, nice shoes, nice clothes, and I never had a desire to go get it, and so I used to, you know, feel sad because I lacked it. But like I said, I just didn't really want it deep down. I really don't want that. I desire like good memories, good times, just relationships and personal things. That's why I started a podcast, because I want to, for above all, just chat to people, and I believe I want people's voice to be heard. I value things like that, being a platform for having people's voice heard. That's why I'm still doing it, even like I'm not. It's not a lot, but even these commentary videos, just I value intangible things rather than the tangible things in life, and I just, of course, most people don't, and I get that's the world we live in. You know, that's the media we watch. It's all about the tangible. It's all about what you can get, what you can touch. But you know, I hope one day more people kind of get to where I'm at, and hopefully, maybe one day this channel can find, you know, like-minded people, and we can get to that point. But until then, that's what I had to say about it. So.